And first of all, what's your reaction to this New York Times story? Mueller will accept some written answers from President Trump, but still wants to do a formal sit-down on other issues, including obstruction of justice.
I think it trends positively for the president. I think it shows that his legal team, their more aggressive approach in the last few months is starting to pay dividends. This is what they've wanted. This is the path they've been going down, and they finally got what they've been looking for.
Well, they haven't completely gotten it because there's still a possibility that Mueller will seek an oral interview, an actual sit-down interview on questions of obstruction of justice. The New York Times reporting that on conspiracy with the Russians, maybe he'll accept written answers on that.
Yeah, but I think it's a step in the right direction if you're looking at it from the Trump legal team. This is the path that they wanted to go down, and it looks like, at least from this report, that they're starting to make progress.
Let's get to the Bob Woodward book, a real bombshell today, and I'm sure you've seen all the reports, including CNN's excellent reporting on this. The president in the book describing your former boss, the Attorney General of the United States, Jeff Sessions, this way. This guy is mentally retarded. He's this dumb Southerner, and then he feigns a Southern accent, according to Woodward. What's the effect of all of this public humiliation, these constant attacks on Jeff Sessions?
Well, I'll tell you what, the Attorney General has been in politics for decades. He's developed a very thick skin. He's also not somebody that's on Twitter. He doesn't spend a lot of time watching television. He does travel around the country a lot. He goes and he meets with United States attorneys and state and local law enforcement. When he meets with them, he is met with universal praise. In fact, just the other day, the president of the National Sheriff's Association said that Jeff Sessions, from the perspective of law enforcement, may be the best attorney general ever. So it's not just criticism that he hears. He also hears praise. Now,
well, let me just interrupt for a second. He hears a lot of praise for a lot of the issues he's dealing with, and on so many of those issues, he's right in line with conservative Republicans. But to hear the president of the United States on Twitter, public statements, just yesterday going after him so brutally, and now in this book calling him mentally retarded, a dumb Southerner, I mean, you know, he might get praise when he goes and meets with sheriffs, but this is awful.
No, understood. And of course, the Attorney General would prefer not to be the target of the president's attacks. But he's navigated tough political waters over the years. He's been called some terrible things over the decades.
Nothing like this.
Understood. But he has a job to do. He's going to put his head down and do it. This has been going on for a year and a half. At this point, everyone there has developed a thick skin. They know there's nothing they can do about it, and they have a job to do, and they're going to focus on it.
Because the president apparently hates him because he recused himself in the Russia investigation. Was it a mistake for Sessions to recuse himself?
No, absolutely not. He recused himself pursuant to federal law. He should not supervise an investigation that potentially involves a campaign with which he had a political relationship with. It's 28 CFR 45.2.
Let me get your reaction to what the president tweeted going after Jeff Sessions brutally yesterday on the way the Justice Department and the U.S. attorneys handled the recent indictments of two U.S. Republican congressmen, Chris Collins of New York, Duncan Hunter of California. The president tweeted this, quote, two long-running Obama-era investigations of two very popular Republican congressmen were brought to a well-publicized charge just ahead of the midterms by the Jeff Sessions Justice Department. Two easy wins now in doubt because there is not enough time. Good job, Jeff. What was your reaction to that?
Well, first of all, that's not how the Department of Justice should operate. It's not how the Department of Justice does operate. Political considerations should never factor into prosecutorial decisions. And there's two factual things I want to clear up here. First of all, those prosecutions came out of the Southern District of New York and the Southern District of California. Those are two U.S. attorneys that are appointed by this administration. Also, neither Jeff Sessions nor anyone in Maine Justice would be required to sign off on those indictments.
I mean, it's pretty awful because, and those investigations of these two lawmakers didn't begin during the Obama administration. They really came to a head during the Trump administration.
Well, the Hunter investigation started in the Obama administration, carried over into the Trump administration.
But as you point out, a Republican-appointed U.S. attorney in California is prosecuting this case.
Correct. And I think, as the Attorney General said, you know, whether it was last week or the week before, political considerations are not going to play into this Department of Justice.
But doesn't it concern you that the President of the United States thinks that, you know, this isn't okay, that the Attorney General shouldn't be allowing this kind of stuff to go on with two sitting members of Congress? And by the way, we should point out that both of these members of Congress were the #1 and #2 endorsers of Donald Trump's presidency.
Certainly, look, you want the Justice Department to be a bastion of integrity and impartiality. And that's how it's going to be run. That's how this Attorney General is going to do it, and he's going to keep on doing it until he's no longer there.
You think he'll stay?
I think he's going to stay as long as the president wants him there.
Until the president fires him right after the midterm elections, which apparently he's thinking of doing. But it is pretty humiliating, I must say. It's one thing to be criticized, and Jeff Sessions over the years has been criticized on partisan basis, whether in Alabama or here in Washington. But it's another thing to be so brutally attacked by the president of the United States. So that's another one. Ian, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
We'll have you back. Appreciate it very much. Just to add, there's more.